Hello friends, welcome once again to Rick's Garage. This is a 2006 Scion XB, and what we're going to be doing today is to replace this rear latch handle. Evidently it's a real troublesome thing on these cars, so we're going to go ahead and try to replace it. We've already ordered the new part. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do after opening the tailgate is I took a little extension and stuck it in there so that I don't accidentally latch the tailgate. The last thing in the world I want to do is latch this tailgate after I pull the handle off and then have to crawl back in there to unlatch it. So this little extension will prevent that from happening. The other thing I want to do before we get too far along is to remove the negative battery terminal. Now there are two reasons for this. One, with the tailgate open, the interior lights of the vehicle are going to be on, and I don't want to run the battery down. And two, whenever you're doing any sort of repair on a vehicle, it's always a good idea to disconnect the negative battery terminal. You don't want to accidentally touch the wrong thing and deploy an airbag. So with the battery terminal removed, now I've already loosened it, so I just got to lift it off and put it aside. It was a 10mm socket or wrench to loosen it, by the way. Next, with the back hatchback up, we're going to go ahead and remove these little fasteners. Just need some kind of fork type tool to get under it and just pry them right out very easily. This is a panel removal tool. You can buy them at any parts store. So we're going to go ahead and pull the rest of these off. Come off very easily. I'll finish this off camera. Okay, with the correct tool, the panel came off quite easily and none of the fasteners were damaged, so we can reuse them when we put it back together again. So now that we've got that panel removed, there are two connections we have to undo. One is kind of hidden behind here. I'll pull that down. And the other one is this blue one right here that we're going to take a needle nose and push it through. If I can, if my hand's shaking. There we go. Get that out of the way. So now it'll be easier to disconnect them. So the first one, just simply squeeze this little connector here and it should pop right out, and it does. And on the other one, you do exactly the same thing. Squeeze the little connector and it should pop right out, which it's not doing. There it is. Okay, so those done. We've got the two wires you need to disconnect off. So now we're going to take this rubber grommet with my finger and just kind of push it through, so when we get the latch unbolted, it might be easier with a screwdriver, but I'm able to do it with my finger, I think. There, okay. So now when we get the latch undone, we can simply pull it right out. There are three 10mm nuts that need to be removed. One on each end and one in the middle. And looks like they're coming out. Okay, and I'll get the other side off camera. So now we're going to close the tailgate or hatchback. So now I think we can carefully remove this whole unit. Should come right out. So now that we got the old unit out on the bench, we're going to go ahead and remove the license plate lights and the latch, so we can transfer them over to the new piece of equipment. And naturally this doesn't want to come off, but we'll get it. Here it comes. Might have to put some oil on it. I didn't, but might have to. I may have to do it on the other side. The other side is rusted. Alright, so we'll put that screw aside. And this piece comes out. Now we'll get the other side. That one came out much easier. We're going to try to replace these screws. Okay, that screws off. Now we're going to get the latch bolts, latch screws. And one more. We got that off. So now, see, you can pull the whole thing right out. Just gotta unclip this wiring harness. And I'm not sure how this comes out. Looks like there's two little tabs you have to squeeze to get that out as well. So I'm going to take a needle nose pliers and squeeze that and push it through, and squeeze this one, push it through. Then this thing should come out of there, I would hope. I'm going to squeeze this one a little bit better. There we go. Alright, so we've got all the components detached. These screws I can reuse. These two screws I'm going to try to find a replacement for. Alright, I have the new piece out and I'm ready to reassemble it. I put down a piece of soft pig mat to prevent from scratching it up. Alright, I'm ready to attempt to reassemble this thing. First of all, I'm going to try to install the license plate lights. And I got a little hex. I'm replacing the original screw with these little hex screws. They were rusted like hell. I don't want to take a chance on them stripping it, so I've tightened it up with that, and that looks like it works quite well. The other thing I just did off camera is I temporarily hooked up the battery and plugged everything in to make sure these lights actually work before I put it all together. Now this there's little clamps here that these lights go into. So let's get the other light in place. Sticking it down in there, it's a little holding clamp. And let's arrange this one. So this one fits into the little slot like the other one did. Supposed to anyway. And then we connect up the other screw that I prepared for it. These hex screws are a lot less chance of them stripping than the Phillips screws that were originally in there. So we'll tighten that up. Okay, so those are nicely installed. So now we're going to snap in the latch button. And make sure it's pressed all the way down so that the fasteners are all the way in. And now we're going to put the screws in. These screws are in pretty good shape, so I'm going to reuse these screws. They're like a fastener, and these screws just kind of lock it in. Okay, so that's in, it's in tight, and these things are locked in. So the latch is installed. The latch button is installed. So now the kit came with a brand new fastener. These fasteners are already installed, but this fastener goes on this side right here. I don't know how well you can see it, but it fits right into that little slot. Now there's one fastener that you have to reuse, and that's this little thing. I pulled it off the back. It remained on the hatch, and I squeezed these little things and pulled it out. This will fit right into here, and that'll hold the whole thing in while you're working on it, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. You just got to get it in there. And it doesn't seem to want to go in there, but we're going to get it in there. There it is. So that fits in there. On the old one, this was the part that was broken off, and also this piece was broken off. So now it's ready to be installed. All right, I'm going to take and I'm going to just wipe it off a little bit before we try to put the part in. So the first thing we're going to do here, obviously, is put the wires through the hole and try to stick the grommet through the hole. Just let that come down. All right, there, we can arrange that grommet from the inside. So now, I didn't want this to slam down like that, but didn't hurt anything. All right, so now we're gonna stick in our pieces, and I'm going to try to get that little thing to fasten. And it's just a matter of putting the screws back in. Just a matter of putting your screws back in, reconnecting up your wires, and the job is done. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in the wires, put the screws back in off camera, and then I'll come back. Okay friends, don't forget to remove that little extension you put in there to prevent the thing from closing. And we're in pretty good shape. We got the new bolts in. We've got the wires connected up. We got the grommet in place. Except for putting on the cover, looks like we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that right now. I think, yeah, this is how it fits. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put in the center grommet, or the center fastener, I should call it, not a grommet. And we'll find where that center one goes, pop that right in. So now it's just a simple matter of popping the others in. So let's get a couple of them in there. We didn't damage them when we took them out because we had the right tool to remove them. So they'll all go in quite nicely, I would expect, as they are. All right, so I'm going to finish this up off camera, and then I'll come back for the closing. Okay, friends, that's about all I've got for this episode. I'm just kind of cleaning it up, but it's installed and it looks good. It's black. The car is a dark navy blue. This is black, this is black, this is black, so it really don't look too bad. One better option might have been they have a replacement one of these made of chrome. That might have been a better option. It's a little bit more money for the chrome one. Where this car is so dark and this is black, it doesn't look bad at all. She can order some duplicolor and paint it if she wants to. But we're done. Kind of a pain in the neck little project, but not too awful bad. I hope you enjoyed it. And before I go, I just want to mention that I'll post 2 videos to your left. You can click on either one of them. Or you can click on my trusty German Shepherd who just came walking around the corner to subscribe. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.